So let's talk about podcasts in general, right? Everybody, I think, today with a mic thinks that they can, like just like me, everybody with a mic thinks that they can get on with a podcast. Um, I'm going to show you what I think a podcast person looks like for me. This is, according to me, the anatomy of a perfect podcaster. That's a podcaster starter pack I have there. You have the sweatshirt, you have the mic, you have a cool drink, which is either in a Stanley cup or it's a matcha, and then you have your iPhone. According to you, what does it take to be a perfect podcaster?
I think just a voice. I don't think that you need any of this. I don't think you need a fancy phone.
You don't need a Stanley cup with a cute pink bow
I
to
don't
be a
think you need
podcaster.
any of these things. I think you just need an opinion and a voice. And if you have those two things, I think you'd go very far in life.
Very well said. Okay. So how do you ensure, when you're doing podcasts and when you're doing brainstorming for the topics that you want to do, how do you ensure that you're talking about the right subjects, you're touching upon things that are relevant, and what's your research process like?
So, like I said, I read a lot, and I think the work that I do, has enabled me to have access to a lot of on-ground realities that I might not have otherwise had. So I think it's a lot of what I see on a daily basis that inspires me to talk about certain things. It's also things that we read about every day. It's also things that we, want in the future, an ideal vision for where we want to be as, a country or as an economy, and I think these are things that inspire me and spark a lot of ideas and questions in my head, which is where we then come to the podcast and how we discuss those on the podcast. So I think a lot of it comes from reading and also an everyday lived reality of the kind of people I get to meet on a daily basis through the work that I do.
And it is a popular medium, considering just today there was news of Ranveer Alabadia losing his YouTube channel where he runs a successful podcast platform to some hackers who've now put up videos of Trump and Tesla, in place of that. And that means that this is a powerful platform and the world is either too scared of it, and they do give...
I think the world is always scared of a strong voice and a strong opinion. But like I said, I think those are the only two things you need for a successful podcast or just success in life. And I'm glad that, younger people are looking at podcasts as the medium to voice their opinions and talk about things that should be talked about. So it's actually a great thing, and I see a lot of young upcoming podcasters in India who are increasingly, doing so well, not just in India but also internationally. And I think that gives me a lot of happiness.
Do you listen to any particular podcast? Do you have like your favorite podcasters in India?
So I actually am a big true crime kind of person. So there is a podcast called Desi Crime where they talk about like true crime stories. So that's something that I love listening to.
See, I knew you had a brat side.
I had a quirk somewhere, yes. So that's something that I love listening to, yeah.
So the last few incidents in the country, like the Abhaya incident, deeply traumatized women in this country, and you've been a champion of women empowerment for the longest time. I want to understand in your own way, how do you deal with subjects like that, especially in this country where everything you say is so sensitive and can be taken either way. How do you navigate these sensitive subjects?
Thank you for bringing that up. I think this is the correct platform to talk about something like that. And I think what happened is not a first. It's something that we've seen happen multiple times. And the reaction that we saw to what happened in Kolkata was outrage, like you said. It was horrific. And I think that there's a lot more that we need to do as a country, as women, as people, as members of this society. Of course, law enforcement and better safety protocols will do what they can, but it's very easy for us to sit and demand things. I think we have to be accountable, we have to be responsible. I think as members of this society and just as human beings, I think it is equally our responsibility to create safer spaces for women, not just at work, but even at home. And I think that we as members of this society have to play our part in doing that, both men and women. And having said that, I would want to underline this, very strongly, that women do deserve better. Women do deserve better. She deserved better, and I don't think that anyone or anybody should be able to override the agency and dignity of women.
Okay, very well said. So, what are the kind of things that you and your friends talk about? What are the kind of things that you're invested in? What's your WhatsApp chatter like? Is it all serious? Is it all fun? Is it a mix of everything?
I think people have this conception that young people talk about frivolous things, but I don't think that's the case. You would
Not
be
after
surprised.
hearing this conversation. We
You'd
don't
be
think young
surprised. I
people want to
think
talk about frivolous
we
things.
have a lot of goals, we have a lot of dreams, not enough time to accomplish them. So what we talk about really is, how we can improve as individuals, how we can work on ourselves. Like you mentioned, we talk about the future of the world, the industry that we're in. I have friends from across different industries. I have friends who are in the entertainment industry. I have friends who are in the business world. It's great to have conversations with like-minded individuals about where they see the country going, where they see the future of business going, and I think that's really what our conversations are about.
And what is coming up next for Navya? What is she looking forward to the most besides the grade A that I am manifesting for you?
I am looking forward to completing my MBA. I think that's something that is very exciting to me, and like I said, extremely grateful to be at the institution that I'm at. So looking forward to that, looking forward to doing more work that causes positive impact in the world today, and looking forward to having more conversations with you like this.
Okay, that is good. And before I wrap up this session, I just have a few quick questions for you. If you could take those for me, okay? Are you geared up? They're going to be very easy.
Okay.
It's going to be easier than the MBA, I promise.
Okay.
If you were stranded on an island, who would you rather be with, your mom or your grandmom?
I don't think I should answer that because I have to go home now, so I'll skip that one.
Are you a texter or a caller?
Caller.
Wow, that is rare because my team, who's full of Gen Zs, would rather I send them
I think I
snail
communicate
mails.
better when I'm speaking verbally, so I think it's quicker to get that message across.
Emily in Paris or Call Me Bay?
Sorry?
Emily in Paris or Call Me Bay?
Call me May.
Oh, sweet, okay. Where can we find you on a Saturday night?
In class, I have classes 6 to 10 p.m. on a Saturday night, so that's where you can find me.
Okay, so stay at home then or head for a party?
Stay at home.
Now, this is an important one, be very careful. The Delhi food scene or the Bombay food scene?
I think I'd rather not answer that one also. I have roots in both cities, and both have shaped who I am today, so it would be unfair to pick.
Okay then. And this one you have to pick one. Who would you want on your podcast from the two people, Ranveer Allahabadia or Ori?
I think both have their own podcast, so I don't know if they would agree to come, but I'd love to go on theirs. I don't know if they'd want to be on mine, but I'd love to go on theirs.
Thank you, Navya. It was an absolute pleasure chatting
so
with
much.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.